You think you're pretty good at troubleshooting? I've got 3 tips that you probably never tried. Number 1. So here's our panel. These are our receptacles in a row. This is your receptacle here. You got them backstabbed because it's an older home and you're doing some troubleshooting. This plug in the middle is not working. You're going to take your plug tester, plug it into this receptacle here. The lights are probably not going to turn on. You're going to start wiggling this receptacle over here, which may or may not be sending power over here. You might get some light flickers. You're going to find your problem very quickly. Next, when circuit tracing, consider this Klein. It's half the price as the competitors. I still think the Ideal is better. This is how you use it. First, you plug in the receiver here. You go to your panel. You turn it on. What you want to do, you want to do a pass through the panel. And you're going to get a couple of beeps as you go. So we're going to do one full pass through. By the time we go through our second pass through, you see that red light there? You're going to notice you're not going to get a red light on any other circuits. You might be able to go 1/3. That's going to be our circuit there. We know it's not that double pole 60 there. That's the main. That's why we're getting that beep there. So we know it's going to be this circuit up here. That's an old school trick. I don't know if it's actually in the instructions to do the whole pass through. That's the way that I was trained and it works every time. Last but not least, let's talk about this circuit toner. We're going to turn this on. Right there. We're going to select the alternating tone because that's my preferred method. Now you're going to notice the red is going to beep a little bit louder than the black will. We're going to dial this down almost all the way and we're going to go up like 2 or 3 bumps. You're going to see how we don't even have a signal strength light on here. Using the same settings, I'm going to attach this black to an actual ground source. This is kind of tip 2.5, tip 3. You want to get these alligator clamps. These are lifesavers. If you don't have a ground, especially if you're working on older receptacles or older circuits that you're trying to trace, chances are the grounds aren't going to be working. That's why you're doing troubleshooting in the first place. So you get these alligator clamps. This will allow you to extend your reach on this ground. So look what happens when we attach this ground. You're going to notice we get a signal strength here. You might get this light on now. See where we get that signal light on? If I turn off or take off this ground, you already noticed that it got quieter just by doing that. But you're going to see where the light's not turning on. But if we attach this ground here, you can see where it got louder, but you're also going to get your light back on. So it's a lot easier to trace with these toners when you actually attach this to a ground. I see way too many videos where they're taking Romex, they're putting this on the neutral, this on the hot, and they're trying to trace. It's not in the instructions. So first off, what I just told you is not anywhere in any instructions on any toner. This is just years of experience talking. So get your black on an actual known ground source where it's not just a ground wire that potentially doesn't go anywhere. It needs to go to an actual ground source. You're going to attach this to whatever circuit you're trying to trace. And what's kind of cool, you can actually use this in reverse. So you want to make sure the power's off with this. This is for power off. And you can actually sort of use this as if it was live voltage while you're tracing. So you can leave this hooked up to one of the wires that's not working. For example, we could put that here. Right here, we could put this clamp here and this on a ground. And we could start moving wires, or maybe even here. We could start moving wires in this box with this toner present. And as we're moving wires around, you're going to notice that you might get a tone or something. That way you're not just troubleshooting a dead circuit and really just spinning your wheels. It's a quick identifier that maybe you did something right while you're troubleshooting. So I like to leave this on while I'm tracing, even if the power's off, even if I'm not even really trying to tone. I can just leave this on around touch different wires, jumper different wires, and see if I get a rise out of my tracer here. So hopefully these tips help you guys out. These are like $5 on Amazon, and they're kind of worth their weight in gold. If you're in a kitchen, you can get to the oven or range hinge to get a good ground. I've used extension cords before where you just plug it into a known circuit, and the circuit can be on, it doesn't matter, so long as you're just using like a piece of Romex here. Take some of the ground and plug it into the extension cord ground, and then attach this to this prong here. That's going to get you a good ground too. With the receiver here, or the transmitter, you'll know if you got a good ground or not because it'll tell you. Okay, there's a few tips for you guys. Hope you're troubleshooting out. We'll see you guys in the next